shocking footage now emerging from the Gulf, claiming to capture a high-speed Iranian ballistic missile making its way toward a major U.S. military installation, and Patriot air defense systems failing to stop it. In this clip, 3 Patriot air defense missiles fire in rapid succession, each attempting to intercept the incoming warhead. But against expectations, all 3 interceptors failed to connect. The warhead continues its deadly trajectory, slicing through the sky as defenses scramble. The Iranian ballistic missile warhead targeted the Al-Udeid Air Base in Qatar, a key hub for U.S. operations in the Middle East. Al-Udeid houses thousands of U.S. and coalition personnel, along with critical command and logistics elements. The base has been central to American military efforts across the region. Al-Udeid also came under Iranian attack last year in response to Israel and America's strikes that killed several officials and damaged nuclear sites in Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow. Defense officials are now assessing damage and personnel safety as tensions remain dangerously high following a series of retaliatory strikes between Iran, the United States, and allied forces.
Iranian state television, IRIB, has released dramatic footage showing ballistic missiles being launched toward Israel and U.S. military bases across the region. The launches mark Tehran's thunderous retaliation after U.S. President Donald Trump declared that major combat operations had been carried out jointly by the United States and Israel inside Iran, an announcement that ignited one of the most volatile escalations in the region in years. According to U.S. officials, Israel targeted senior Iranian political and military figures, while American forces focused on degrading Iran's ballistic missile and nuclear infrastructure. In response, Iran unleashed missiles not only toward Israel, but also toward U.S. bases across the Middle East, including installations in the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. The retaliatory strikes sent shockwaves across the region, triggering air defense systems and raising fears of a widening war. Iran has struck Gulf states hosting U.S. military bases in the region. Multiple explosions were reportedly heard in key cities of UAE, Qatar, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. According to the Fars news agency, Iran has confirmed targeting Al-Udeid Air Base in Qatar, Al-Salem Air Base in Kuwait, Al-Dothra Air Base in the UAE, and one more base in Bahrain. According to AFP, Abu Dhabi and Doha reported blasts hours after Israel and the U.S. conducted joint attacks on Iran. President Trump, in a video address, urged Iranians to take over your government, calling the moment a turning point. But Tehran pushed back strongly. In an exclusive interview, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran is open to de-escalation and willing to talk, but only if U.S. and Israeli attacks stop immediately. He dismissed calls for regime change as mission impossible. The escalation erupts in defiance of fragile nuclear negotiations that had promised a narrow path away from war. Even as diplomats huddled over proposals to curb Iran's nuclear program, U.S. forces were quietly but unmistakably reinforcing their presence across the region. Warships repositioned, aircraft deployed, defenses tightened, preparing for a storm that now appears to have broken. Tehran says the joint strikes shattered diplomacy at its most delicate hour, splintering talks just as a breakthrough seemed within reach. Now, with missiles carving fiery arcs across the night sky, words have given way to weapons. Ballistic missiles launched, regional bases targeted. The confrontation has crossed a perilous threshold. The coming hours will decide whether this remains a contained cycle of retaliation or ignites into a wider regional war with consequences far beyond the battlefield. Just this morning alone, preliminary military assessments indicate that around 35 ballistic missiles have been launched from Iran toward Israeli territory. While Israel's air defense systems intercepted some of those missiles, others breached the defenses and struck open areas across the country. The fact that multiple projectiles penetrated Israel's layered air defense network marks a serious moment in the ongoing escalation. Missile and interceptor fragments have fallen in several locations in Israel, triggering emergency responses and heightening public anxiety. Israeli police confirmed they received numerous reports of debris landing in different parts of Israel amid the ballistic missile assault. While there have been no confirmed reports of direct missile impacts on densely populated urban centers, the falling fragments themselves have caused disruption and fear.
Room and proceed to the stairs room immediately. Attention, ceci est une alerte.
Medics say at least one man in his 50s was lightly injured in northern Israel. According to the Magen David Adom ambulance service, the man was hurt after falling into a hole caused by missile fragments. Emergency responders also treated several other individuals who were injured while rushing to shelters or who experienced acute anxiety during the attack. The scenes underscore the psychological and physical toll of sustained missile fire, even when interception systems are partially successful. Israel's air defenses, known for their multi-layered shield against aerial threats, did manage to intercept a number of incoming missiles. However, the fact that others were not neutralized and that debris has landed across multiple areas is raising pressing questions about the scale and intensity of the Iranian assault. 35 ballistic missiles in a single wave represents a significant volume of fire. Even with advanced interception systems in place, sustained barrages can stretch defensive capabilities and increase the risk of missiles or fragments reaching the ground. As sirens sounded and residents scrambled for shelter, the latest barrage reinforced the reality that Israel is now facing direct, large-scale ballistic missile attacks from Iran. With another wave reportedly on the way, the situation remains highly volatile. The coming hours will determine whether Israel can regain full defensive control or whether further missiles will once again penetrate its protective shield, deepening the escalation in an already widening regional conflict.